So today we're going to take a look at the Encore Optimus Prime, well, technically speaking, Ultra Magnus, transforms Legends class figure. Now, I say Legends class because nowadays we refer to this size class as Legends class. But essentially, this is a knockoff figure, a bootleg version of the Robot Master's figure. Now, the thing is, this is actually one of the earliest Legends class figures that have been bootleg, and this is one of my favorite pieces. I believe Sports Wolf 3 did a review of Optimus Prime before, and let me actually, you know what, just really quickly screenshot the package from his video. This is what it looks like. And this particular figure can be bought in either the Optimus Prime colors or the Ultra Magnus colors, with little differences here and there in terms of plastic. But essentially, pretty much all of them are either Optimus Prime or Ultra Magnus colors. With regard to releases, you can either purchase him like I showed you with the trailer, or you can purchase him without the trailer. But then again, these have been, you know, it's been a long time since I actually got these. I believe I got these 2011. So I'm not entirely sure that you can still find these, but if you can, I highly recommend these because they're simple enough figures, and honestly, I love them. So just taking a quick look at the figure here. Okay, so there's no head articulation other than to look up. That's basically it. You can't turn his head. If you try to turn his head, you might accidentally break it, so I don't recommend that. Ball joint shoulders, well, but limited to some degree because of the way these are constructed. See there, ball jointed shoulders. Sorry, that just fell off. Can get a little bit loose in some of the figures. There's a mushroom peg here, so that you can swivel the shoulders, and of course elbow bend, and you can, because of the transformation, you can bring the arms to the back like this. Now with regard to waist articulation, there is waist articulation, mainly due to the transformation as well, and well, as you saw earlier, ball jointed hips. The assembly looks kind of like this. Okay, so yes, it does tend to fall off on mine. They're not all like that because I actually have several of these, which I use to make customs up. But there's also knee bend here, so you can see, and the toe can move, but that's mainly because of the transformation as well. Basically, all the usual points of articulation are there. And let's talk about the weapons. So you get Optimus Prime's Ion Blaster, but done in white, and a version of the axe. But unlike the Robot Master version where you just plug it in, it actually has a handle for some reason. So what you can do, just like the Ion Blaster, you can plug them into these ports. By the way, these ports in the hands, they are actually roughly 3 millimeters. So if you have weapons from your Commander class figures, they'll actually work with him as well. I actually give him Ultra Magnus's hammer now and again from Prime, and then you can place the Ion Blaster like that. There you go. That's what it looks like. Now let's talk about the trailer real quick. The trailer has some really interesting features. The sculpt is on point. The sculpt is on point, definitely. But it does feel like cheap plastic. It's not like the greatest plastic in the world. But this section here lifts up. So this is a little different from any of the trailers I've seen. This section lifts up and gives you a little bit of storage. So what you can do is place some smaller Legion class figures in there, or weapons, but of course you can risk throwing them over to the back like that. The trailer does not open like your regular G1 trailer. No, it does not. But this ramp does open. And it does have ridges. So it's very cool. So real quick, just to do a size comparison with other figures. So here he is with Generations Optimus Prime. One of the earliest Legends class figures out there, though technically speaking, it was never labeled a Legends class figure, but there he is. So essentially, he's like a more modern update on the Generations figure. Now, the Generations figure is obviously much smaller than the G1, the G1 original, because, like I said, it's essentially a Legends scale or class figure. Also, let's compare it to other more current Legends class figures here. I'm bringing in MechFans Toys Ultra Magnus 1.0. So he scales very nicely with him. And Ultra Magnus 2.0 also looks great with him. So if you're collecting Legends class Ultra Magnuses, this is one to go in your collection, definitely. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and transform these, this cab and the trailer. First, let's take off the weapons. Fairly easy transformation, almost like the G1 toy, in certain ways. Okay, so first thing you do is you put down the head like this. After you place the head, all you need to do is kind of pull on this just a little bit, just to give you a little bit of clearance, and push them off to the side. Same thing here on the other side. And then lift these arms up. Bring in these fists. Before you do anything, the love handle section, I guess, or the sides of the torso, just bring them in like this very easily, and then push in the arms. So the top of the body is done pretty much, and then twist the torso, the waist essentially, and then put together the legs, fold out the toes or feet, and then fold this in. And there you have Ultra Magnus in his Ult mode, cab mode. Now you may notice that it's not as filled in as it could be, but it still makes for a pretty great Optimus Prime or Ultra Magnus mode. I mean, let's compare it to the original Generations one. If you'll notice, it's very similar, even in size. The Generations figure, by the way, apologies, I do not have the wheels for this, but essentially the same size figure. So even the length, well, the Robot Master's KO is a little longer, but essentially pretty much the same. Okay, so there you go. Now, with regard to the trailer, very easy. Just, there's a little bit of a trailer hitch here, small peg, and there's a small peg hole here. All you have to do is put that on top, and there you go. You're already done. That's your trailer. And it does not work with the Generations toy. It looks great, but it doesn't sit as high as it should, as you can see. And also, the trailer hitches are not compatible. So this has a male hitch, this has also a male hitch, so that's not gonna work. But in this case, it works great. The clearance is perfect. So there you go. Now it's a KO. The wheels don't work super well, but as far as looks, it looks great. My only real gripe about this, to be honest, although, you know, I'm sure if you can find other stuff to complain about, because it really does not look anything like the newer Legends figures that we've been getting. But if you can see, his head is literally right there. You can see his head visibly peeking out. Now, the original Robot Masters and the KO, I believe, they were able to turn the head and hide it in this place, but this does not have neck articulation. They skimped on that, so unfortunately that's a thing that you won't be able to do. Now, with regard to compatibility with other figures, let's compare scales, shall we? So this is a Legends class wheelie. Now, obviously the scale doesn't perfectly work because, you know, wheelie's supposed to be like super tiny, but still it's a Legends class figure. So if you imagine this as a normal size car, there you go. Essentially, that works perfectly. Now let's see if it can actually be carried inside. Yes. Oh wait, no. Well, yes, but with some difficulty. He can go inside. But like I said, with some difficulty. Now, you can also use other Legend scale figures, but in this case, this is a roughly Legend scale Prime Bumblebee from McDonald's. It's a non-transforming toy. In fact, I don't even know what the gimmick is on this one anymore. Oh, it's a missile launching thing. But yeah, this one is roughly Legends scale Prime, and he works perfectly with this trailer. But also, you know what I like? What I used to like about this is that this worked perfectly with my Hot Wheels toys. So, like this one, I'm bringing in a GCPD car from Hot Wheels. Looks great next to a Hot Wheels toy. So I feel like that's one of the big wins of this. Now, there's no obvious doors or whatever, so you can't really scale or see if it does scale properly, but you know, there are trucks that are this big, so that's fine. And yes, you can put Hot Wheels cars inside, so that's fine. That works perfectly. Okay, and as you can see here, he can turn and drag that trailer just fine. Okay, so there you have it. So like I said, this is one of the very first Legends class figures that I've been made aware of. One of the very first knockoffs that we knew about in the third-party industry. It's made by Encore, and I still, to this day, love this figure because it's just, to me, it looks pretty stunning for a knockoff, right? I mean, that's a really sharp paint job and everything. Yeah, it's to this day one of my most favorite Ultra Magnus figures, despite being a bootleg. And I'm not 100% sure how I can tell you guys to purchase this, because like I said, I purchased this way back in 2011 or 2012, and but every now and then I still see listings of it in AliExpress or in eBay, and if you're lucky enough, you might be able to catch it there. So yeah, that's about it for this Encore Transforms Ultra Magnus. Thank you so much for joining this review. Till next time, this has been Access to a Universe.